In the previous lesson, we saw the possibilities available to us in the trim editor. For precise and accurate trimming, it is an exceptional tool that we use extensively on our own projects. If you have become accustomed to these functions as an advanced user, it is possible to use these functions without the trim editor. And how that works, I'd like to show you now. I'll leave the trim editor by clicking the X here to switch to normal mode. Of course, I could do this by using the F5 key. Now, I am back in the normal work mode, and I'll just quickly recap what we have learned up until now. If I wish, for example, to set the out point of a clip, that is to trim the end of a clip, then I have to position the mouse at the end of the clip until I see this open to the left bracket appear. If a double bracket appears, I have gone too far. So I go back a touch and the left open bracket appears. Now I click with the left mouse button to select the clip end, and once again with the left mouse button held, I can drag the clip end, or the out point, to extend or shorten the clip. We have seen this before, and obviously this method is the same when dealing with the in point at the start of a clip, which can be trimmed in the same manner. But of course, we have no need to do this right now. I'd like to now show how we can use the slide trim function without being in the trim editor. This function being the trim mode in which an edit point between two clips can be moved. I can do this directly with the mouse, and to do so I need the mouse pointer to be directly on the clip edge, this being the edit point. Then not only is the symbol shown, but also the out point of the left clip and the in point of the right clip are marked. Now, I can freely move the edit point between the left and right clips. For now, I'll undo. The next trim mode that we learnt in the trim editor was the slip trim mode. And in this mode, both the in and out point of a clip needed to be marked. If I try to do this here, then at first it doesn't work, as the moment I select a second point, the first is deselected. In order to select both points, I need to select the first point and then press and hold the Control key, before selecting the second point. Now I can let go of the Control key. And now we can see that both the in and out points of the clip are selected. Now, if I click here with the mouse, and with the button held down move the mouse to the left or right, we can see how I can trim the material in the clip without changing the clip length, exactly in the manner that the slip trim mode is meant to do. I can do this using the mouse, but without being in the trim editor. I'll undo once more, and we come to the third trim mode, the roll trim mode. It is probably now clear to you that we need to select the left-hand clip's out point, then hold the Control key, and I select the in point of the clip to the right, and now I release the Control key. And now if I go with the mouse to one of these points, and this symbol appears, then I can slide the clip backwards and forwards between the two adjacent clips. So we can see that all these trim options are available to me, not just in the trim editor, but also by using them directly via the mouse. In addition to this, I'd like to point out that obviously you can also use the keyboard for these functions. If, for example, I have marked the clips for roll trim, I can use the comma and full stop to perform some detailed frame-by-frame editing in any trim mode. If I hold the Shift key whilst doing this, I can perform the editing in slightly larger steps. So we can clearly see that precise editing is also available to me without going into the trim editor. To begin with, however, I would suggest using the trim editor in order to become accustomed to all the edit modes and features. When you are comfortable with these functions, you then have the option to perform these edits with the mouse without having to enter the trim editor.